Tears broke out at the international airport that morning. Not because of tragedy, but because of an unwanted breakup. BTS's Jin officially left the United States, and millions of fans around the world couldn't help but burst into tears. Behind the window of the slowly sliding black car, Jin's face appeared for a moment, and in an instant, that expression was recorded in the memories of millions of ARMY. A forced smile, eyes that look heavy holding back emotions, and a final wave of the hand that seems like a goodbye symbol of an idol too beloved to let go. The question now is the ARMY really ready to release Jin? Since arriving in America to begin his series of post-military activities, BTS's Jin has become the center of global attention. His presence is awaited not only by loyal fans, but also by the media and the entertainment industry, which have been monitoring his every move for a long time. But surprisingly, it was not only her stage performances or cooperation with international musicians that became the subject of conversation. It was precisely the moment of his departure from Uncle Sam's country that shook the hearts of the ARMY massively. On every corner of social media, one sentence kept popping up: "We're going to miss you, Jin." The statement was not just an emotional slogan. It is a collective expression that comes from grief, attachment, and such a deep sense of loss. Many soldiers openly expressed that they were not ready to go back to living the days without Jin's presence in person. After 2 years of complete inactivity due to conscription, hopes for full togetherness again grew as he reappeared before the public. And now, that hope is again shaken by a harsh reality. Jin must return, and there is no certainty when he will again appear before the public on a global scale like this. This condition shows that the relationship between Jin and his fans is not an ordinary one-way relationship. Jin is not just a celebrity. He has become a figure of personal significance to many a virtual friend, a silent encouragement, and a symbol of sincerity in an industry that is often too artificial. When a figure like this has to leave, what is lost is not only his public activities, but also the peace of mind of many people who feel that the world feels better when the genie is present in it. Undeniably, Jin's little gesture at the car window as he left the airport, 2 open arms, a tearful restrained expression, and a wistful look toward the ARMY crowd, has become an icon of this heartbreaking farewell. Some fans even liken the moment to the final episode of a long drama that is not yet known whether it will return to air or not. There was no big press conference, no official announcement from HYB as to when Jin would return in full. It all felt floating, full of question marks, and that was precisely what hurt the most. What is more interesting, the feeling of unwillingness from the ARMY is not merely because of the physical loss of their idol. Deeper than that is the worry of emotional distance reforming. The ARMY has passed through a vacuum during Jin's military service, and the process of re-establishing an emotional connection now faces a new, undefined pause. This is not just a matter of the visual absence of the genie, but of the fear of the loss of intimacy that had time to rebuild with great difficulty. Some fans even voiced disappointment with the agency, questioning why there was no extension of Jin's activities in the US given the overwhelming enthusiasm and support from the public. Some of them say that HYB should have maximized Jin's awakening momentum, not stopped it so quickly. However, to date, no official statement has given a detailed explanation of the decision. Meanwhile, Jin himself maintained his calm demeanor. He did not utter dramatic words, did not convey long goodbye messages, but precisely from his silence and facial expressions, ARMY knew that this farewell was not easy for him either. A person known as Broad Shoulders, who often appears tough and cheerful, for the first time looks so vulnerable and unable to hide his emotions. That's what makes this moment so heartbreaking, so authentic, and so unforgettable. Undeniably, this event has inscribed an emotional chapter in the history of the interaction between Jin and the ARMY. Many refer to it as the quietest yet most painful farewell. There was no stage, no big media spotlight, only Jin and ARMY, facing off in silence, under the city sky watching his final wave. Now, after Jin actually left America, all that's left are memories and snippets of videos that spread widely on social media. Every second of the tape played over and over again, as if ARMY wanted to hold on to the moment longer. Some of them admitted that they could not continue their daily activities normally after witnessing the moment. Some cried, some wrote open letters, and not a few chose to be silent because it hurt too much to speak. The question is now, what will happen next? Is this just a temporary farewell before Jin returns with a big project being secretly prepared? Or is this the beginning of a new phase in which Jin is beginning to withdraw from the global limelight? Nobody knows. But one thing is certain, the ARMY has spoken clearly. They are not ready, and they are not willing to end this quiet atmosphere of mourning. One important message continued to flow from the fan community. Seokjin, you may leave for now, but your heart remains with us. The words became a kind of emotional bridge, as if to convey that no matter where Jin is, his love will still be guarded, cared for, and awaited. For all the ARMY out there feeling empty, remember that this story isn't over yet. And for those of you who want to continue to follow in the footsteps of Jin, keep with us on this channel. Don't forget to subscribe, as we'll continue to bring you exclusive updates, special moments, and in-depth analysis around Jin and BTS. Stay connected, stay strong, and continue to voice your love. The genie has indeed left, for now. But ARMY love never knows parting words. But in the rush of emotions and the widespread wave of sympathy, a fundamental question arises that deserves to be asked critically. Is the event of BTS's American breakup of Jin really as authentic as it is portrayed? Or is it just a narrative that is deliberately packaged in such a way for the sake of certain interests? We cannot turn a blind eye to the possibility that public emotion is often used as a tool to move the masses, create trends, or even divert larger issues. The event of Jin leaving the United States after performing at various activities was indeed captured by many cameras, both from official media and personal recordings of fans. However, the recordings spread through platforms such as TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube, which in fact are open distribution media without strict verification. Don't we need to ask, to what extent is the authenticity of the scattered visual narrative? Who controls his framing and emotions? Does every corner of the Jin's cry and gaze indeed indicate pure grief? Or is it merely a trained form of expression management? Not that we should be cynical about every emotional moment witnessed, but in today's digital age, where visual manipulation and the management of public emotions are part of communication strategies, we are required to be an audience that not only feels, but also analyzes. What do we see behind the windows of the genie's car? Is it really a symbol of deep sadness, or is it simply part of a well-designed, heroic, and melancholic narrative? Some of the ARMY might call this kind of question a form of disloyalty or denial of the authenticity of their love for Jin. But precisely because the sense of love is so deep, we must not allow ourselves to sink into hysteria without data. Doesn't healthy love also contain elements of rationality and vigilance against manipulation? It is important to recognize that much of the content that went viral related to this event did not come entirely from the official media. Pieces of video, voice snippets, even screenshots of conversations are widely circulated without a clear source. Some accounts claim that the genie gave the gesture of farewell for a long time, while others mention that the moment was just an ordinary form of transit. In a situation like this, can we distinguish between what is fact and what is shaped by social media algorithms? More than that, should we examine whether this grand narrative, the genie will go away and leave deep sorrow, is actually a form of mass conditioning to create a stronger attachment effect between idols and fans? If this is so, then the bigger question arises, Who controls the sentiment and for what purpose? Our agencies, the media, or precisely ourselves as spectators creating monsters of uncontrollable emotions? Statements like, "We will miss you," Jin sound sincere and loving, but they are also very effective fuel for maintaining relevance and public engagement. There's no denying that every tear ARMY spills, every video replayed, and every comment left is part of the data ecosystem that the industry leverages to read consumer behavior patterns. Are you looking for love, or are you looking for a target market? Again, this is not an accusation, but rather an invitation to deep reflection. When one simple moment like the wave of a genie's hand behind a window can turn into a global narrative in a matter of hours, we should ask, does the speed of distribution of this information reflect the truth, or does it disguise the possibility of manipulation? We, as information managers and content presenters, would like to emphasize that most of the sources we use come from public content, such as TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, as well as some widely circulated local and international media reports. However, we also understand that these sources have limitations in terms of accuracy and may not necessarily go through an in-depth journalistic verification process. Therefore, we urge readers and viewers not to swallow information raw, not to dissolve in hysteria, and still maintain a critical distance from each shared narrative. Maybe it's time to ask a more substantial question. Do we want Jin's presence because of his sincere personality, or because the industry has shaped Jin's figure as a collective emotional project? Do we really know him, or just love the digital representation curated by cameras and social media? Are our tears the result of personal experience, or the result of systematic persuasion? We are not rejecting feelings. On the contrary, we are asking all armies to treat those feelings with integrity and full awareness. Because mature love is a love that is not easily played with by imagery. We can cry, we can yearn, but we must also remain alert and rational. Finally, we would like to invite you all to continue to listen to the development of information about Jin BTS with a more reflective attitude. We will continue to present the latest updates with an important note. Critical thinking is key in the face of the information rush of the digital age. Don't believe it right away, don't be easily provoked, and don't stop asking questions. Please write your views in the comments. Do you think that this event of the genie's departure was really touching due to the sincerity of her emotions? Or was it precisely a scenario set up to create a dramatic effect? Do you feel like you've seen something authentic, or are you trapped in a subtly manipulated narrative? Let's discuss openly and critically. And for those of you who want to keep getting accurate, exclusive, and honest updates about Jin BTS, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Because in the midst of a flood of information, we need a place to trust, and we're committed to being one of them. Thank you.